Hey folks, Mike with Chasing Trail here. On a ride today with my dad. I don't know exactly what day it is, end of July, Sunday. And I am on a Norden 901, which I just recently purchased. So today I will give my first impressions of this motorcycle. The most noticeable thing about this motorcycle right off the bat is how light it feels. People have said it over and over again in videos and reviews and such, with the low slung fuel tank and having it lower the center of gravity, and it's absolutely true. The bike feels much lighter than it is. I think it's about 470, 480 fully fueled, and it feels 100 pounds less than that. The way it rides and handles actually reminds me a bit of the CRF 300L. The suspension is much better, obviously, but just in terms, it doesn't feel quite that light, but it feels much lighter than it really is. It is really remarkable. The bike is very, very easy to ride. I don't even know what the suspension settings are set at, whatever my dealer tuned them to, and it feels fantastic. It just soaks up all the bumps, no issues, road seams, potholes, everything. It's just glides right over the top. It's really fantastic. Seat is good. Wind protection is fine. Most of my upper body is exposed, so I have a little more than a naked bike, but honestly it doesn't feel like much more. I guess basically my stomach doesn't have much wind on it, but from my chest up and my arms are all in the wind, and I don't have any buffeting. Very, very smooth. It's so quiet with the stock exhaust I can't hear it running. I have to just go by feel of the motor, and even that is difficult because it's so smooth. I really have to concentrate on what it's doing. I mean, here once I get into 4,000 I can feel slight vibration. Definitely nothing that would make my hands or feet go numb. Not even close. Only mod I've done thus far is a GPS mount with my quad lock mounted to that and powered off of the 12 volt outlet. However, I am not getting power from that 12 volt outlet. I don't know if the outlet is not providing power or if my little USB adapter took a shit. It's like a $10 adapter, so that's very possible. Have to sort that out. I don't even have my phone on there right now anyway, so for the type of riding I do and places I ride, I almost never need a GPS, so it's not important to me. The rare occasions I do, my phone works plenty good enough. I don't feel a need to purchase a dedicated nav unit. I don't think I used it a single time on my BMW, either of my BMWs that both had it. I mean, it looks cool to see the road and stuff, but I definitely don't need it. There's my dad. Okay, so what else? Bike is very, very stable. Turning is not quick. It definitely takes a more deliberate turn. You kind of want to plan ahead. I mean, the bike does feel very light, but it's more stable than flickable, which is what I prefer, but it does not handle like a sport bike. Not that you would expect it to with a 21-inch front. I haven't had any issues with buffeting or getting blown around behind trucks and cars and knocked around like I did in my Tenere. This thing just holds the line, track's nice and straight, no issue whatsoever. Power seems good. I've been taking it very easy during this initial break-in. I don't know how many miles I have on it, not a lot. Power comes on in the mid-range. I know it's fast because I rode the 890R demo about a year ago. The bike is definitely fast. I'm just taking it easy during the break-in here. I'm also not trying to find the limits of these tires as they are still pretty fresh. Quick shifter works okay. When it works, which is 95% of the time, it feels very good. It clicks right in, no muss, no fuss. My problem with it is, particularly going in and out of 6th gear, it misses sometimes and you'll get a false neutral and then the engine winds up real quick and you're in neutral. I've had it happen in other gears, but it is primarily around between 5th and 6th. So overall, first impressions are it's great, but I like every motorcycle, so I'm not the best critic. So I guess I can talk about why I got this bike. And the first part of that is getting another adventure bike. So I knew, or came to realize through experience, as I always learn things the hard way, that for the kind of rides my dad likes to do and the roads he likes to ride. Oh, squirrel. He made it. The adventure bike is just really the only answer in terms of handling a lot of the bumpy, well, I shouldn't say it's the only answer. It's the best tool suited for the type of roads he likes to ride on. And since he's the only person I really ride with on the street, it makes sense to have, you know, a bike well suited for doing those kind of rides. Secondly, I've come to realize for riding in the dirt, I just really don't enjoy the hard enduro single track kind of riding. There are aspects I enjoy, and I wouldn't mind doing it on occasion, but it's not my jam. It's not what I look forward to going out and doing. I like the easier green and blue trails, Jeep roads, fire roads, just more mellow kind of off-road riding. And an adventure bike can do that as well. So the adventure bike just makes a lot of sense. In that category, I did not want another big bike like the BMW. I did consider some, but ultimately decided that I'm just not going to be comfortable taking a large bike like that off-road. It can do it, certainly, if you're a good rider, blah blah blah. These discussions have been done to death. More gravel. Yes, this bike can do it just fine with the competent rider. I'm not that competent rider. I just wouldn't ever feel comfortable. I shouldn't say wouldn't ever. I am not comfortable riding those. I don't want to spend the time and effort to get comfortable on riding a huge bike off-road. I never am going to take a ton of luggage or a passenger, so I just don't need the big full-size adventure touring bikes. I think these middleweight bikes are perfect for my kind of usage. I had already tried the Tenere 700, which I think is a great option for most people, especially what you get for the price. I did not like that bike personally, but I think a lot of people do and would. The bike that probably checked the most boxes for me and had a price I like was the Touareg 660. The only reason I didn't go with one, which I could have got a really good deal on one, is that my nearest dealers are 3 hours away. Would it ever have an issue? Probably not. But if it did, even one time, and I had to take time off work, spend a whole day driving down there, dropping the bike off, driving home, waiting for them to fix it, driving back down there, getting the bike. I've heard that you can often have to wait a long time on parts for Aprilia. If that happened even one time, I would be so frustrated and pissed off, it would ruin the bike for me. I just can't deal with having no dealer support any closer than that. If I did have an Aprilia dealer, say within an hour of me, I would have got the Touareg 660. It just seemed to check all the boxes for me. And currently you can get them for $500 off, no payments until 2024, and 2% interest rate for 36 months. It's a pretty good deal. And I found a place down in Oakland that had a leftover 2022 model. It would have been $13,900 out the door with all those other promotions available on top of it. So that's why I didn't get a Touareg. I really didn't want anything that had tubed tires. So that kind of rules out all the Japanese bikes. I also think most of the Japanese bikes in this segment are kind of boring. I haven't ridden all of them, but the engine characteristics in those bikes tend to favor reliability over performance. And I like bikes with a little spunk, with a little pep. And I'm willing to make that trade-off. Also, my KTM Husqvarna dealer, which is also a Suzuki dealer, is only 6 miles from me, and they are hands down the best dealer in my area. They are legit good people. They understand customer service. They go above and beyond for people in terms of customer service. They're heavily involved in our local community and the riding groups in this community. I just can't say enough good things about faders. And I know if I have an issue with this bike, or when I have an issue with this bike, that they're going to take care of me. If I did not have a dealer like that, yes, I would be much more hesitant about purchasing a KTM or Husky. But in my particular situation, I don't have any concern about it. Don't know how much longer the battery's going to last, so I'm going to stop jabbering so I can focus on riding. After lunch, I'll talk about why the 901 versus the KTM 890s.